Hi, I'm Ollie. Today I'm making a YouTube video because I'm evil, and I just wanted to talk about some books I've read. There's like not any theme to this, it's just like literally any book that I want to talk about. But okay, so let's start with the June reads, I guess. So, starting off strong, I got this book. I didn't get it. I checked it out from the library. House of Leaves. Everybody knows this book. It inspired the Blair Witch Project, allegedly. And it, it's pretty interesting. You can see, I'm not very far in. Here's my cute little worm bookmark. But, I don't know. It's definitely an interesting book. I just got to the part where they start doing all the like crazy formatting. You can't really see that. What's wrong with me? Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I had pretty high expectations for this book, and there's like parts of it that I really like. But then, and this is what I think most people seem to say, there's like, so basically you're experiencing the narrative through like 3 layers, and then, so you're reading it, I don't think this is spoilers, sorry for this. So you're reading it through the perspective of this guy named Johnny, and he finds his like friend's like old man neighbor dies and like leaves all this shit behind that he finds, and so he finds these like writings, all these writings about this documentary that he can't actually find about this like award-winning photographer who moved into a new house, and the House of Leaves, one could say. And the house is like fucking weird. It has this like scary room in it that like shouldn't be there, and it's like defying the like laws of physics, and it's pretty scary. So anyway, yeah, I like the 2 parts, the components of like reading this guy's essays is pretty fun, because sometimes they'll throw in some like real world stuff in there, like real references to like there's this paper about like the figure of the Greek goddess Echo, and I just thought that was like interesting to read about, and they threw in some like French, like I don't know, some like other languages like Spanish, Latin, that you can like look up the phrases and like feel smart. And then I like the actual documentary itself, like hearing about that is definitely my favorite part, because it's a really cool concept, and I think this came out, I don't know when this came out. It was either like the late 90s or the early 2000s, I think. But I think some of the stuff this is doing was like still pretty novel then, and then like you got the like backrooms and shit, and now like everyone does it. I'm not saying it wasn't like a thing before this book came out, but I have to respect it, But yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is kind of like the classic like contemporary horror novel. So, what I was gonna say is that the guy that you're reading, Johnny, who like found the letters, people always say that's like the worst part, and they say that they hate Johnny, and I like kinda got it, but I kinda liked it, because I thought that it was like sort of like, just compared to like, okay, it's like this old man, and then like this like award-winning photographer with like a wife and kids are like the other 2 like main narratives, and this guy Johnny is like a 20-year-old, or like 26 or something, I don't know, and he lives in like Hollywood, and he's fucking like addicted to like weed and alcohol and like it's fucking actually like everything, and he's just like totally aimless, and like his life just actually sucks. So anyway, I'm just saying that specific character was a little more, like, I guess relatable to me, or just, like, easier to parse. I don't know, not that I guess mostly just the age range, and the fact that he's, like, fucking not, I don't know, like, just not, anyway, but, yeah, he gets, like, more annoying as it goes on, and also, he's, like, pretty misogynist, so I don't know, but I have like 500 pages left of this thing, so maybe like the monster, like in the scary room, is gonna like come and be like, not cool man, and he'll stop being a misogynist, but I guess that's what we can hope. But yeah, House of Leaves, I don't know, interesting so far. I don't know if I'll finish it because it's really fucking long. But yeah, okay, also it's like due tomorrow at the library, but I can read it, it's fine. Okay, that's House of Leaves. This next book is a real banger. This is the Audubon Guide to Marine Mammals. So, I have only read the pinniped section in this so far, but next I want to read the cetaceans section, but I'm a pinniped person, so that's what I was interested in. They have all these great pictures and illustrations. There's the Hawaiian monk seal, a sweetie. It's really interesting. So I think this book came out, I don't know when it came out, I didn't look it up, but I think it came out pre-2008 because that is when the Caribbean monk seal was officially declared extinct after like years and years of no sightings. And in this book it says that they are most likely extinct, I think. So that leads me to think that it's kind of old. So some of the information might be outdated, but like some of it has got here's another cool picture of all the phocids, all the true seals. Anyway, I think it's worth it though. Like it's definitely I'm still like learning things, and it's like combined with the stuff that I already know, I think I can put together like a complete picture. And like looking stuff up, like looking up newer information. So I'd recommend this book if you like marine mammals. I just looked up pinniped in the library catalog and it came up. So okay, the next book that I've read this month, or I'm reading, I guess, I don't have a physical copy of because my library apparently only has one copy, and it was checked out and on the holds list, so I'm never getting that book. But it's called Giovanni's Room by author James Baldwin, and who I want to read his other books, like, because I'd heard of him, but especially now, like, reading this, I really want to read his other books, because this book is so good. It's about it's about this American guy who moves to France, and he's gay, but he's like repressing it. He like doesn't want to be gay, and he meets this guy named Giovanni, and they have a little love story, but it's like sad. It's actually like really depressing. I think this book is like separated into parts, and I think I'm on chapter 3 of part 2. It's really short though. It's like sub 200 pages, so I think I only have like 50 pages left. I'm reading it at a bit of a snail's pace. It's embarrassing, but it's because I want to fully take in everything. But yeah, it's a really good book. It's hard to read though, because so basically, it's like really sad. It starts, I think within like the first few pages, he says that Giovanni is on death row, and he's writing this book like from like the day before Giovanni will be executed. So yeah, that's pretty sad. And the book is just like hard. Like this guy, David, the narrator, has a lot of like internalized homophobia, and he just like says shit to like, says this shit to like random like, or he doesn't say it that much, but like he thinks it about like all the like random gay guys that he sees. He's like, it's yikes. And not only that, but he's also like trans-misogynistic. It like extends. He just like hates femininity. He's also like cis-misogynistic. He's just like a bad person. But it's a really good book. It's like got really like beautiful like prose and stuff and dialogue, and it's just very like, but it's also like easy to understand, like especially if you have like some of the dialogue is in French, but to be honest, I feel like you could probably understand the book without knowing that French. But I personally, because I'm worthless and I don't know any other language that good, but I will. But I had a French to English translator open, so that helps if you want to get like all the dialogue. Which leads me to my next book, which I also had the French English translator open for, is Lolita. So I don't have a physical copy of that either. I pirated an EPUB of it. So Lolita is interesting. It's a pretty controversial book, and I will say that it is also separated into 2 parts. So it's got part 1 and part 2, and each part has, I think, 36 chapters. But some of the chapters are literally like half a page long, so it's not as long as it seems. But I only read part 1 because it became too much for me. But yeah, this book is pretty controversial. Everybody knows what it's about. But, it's like an anti-pedophile book, but some people like misunderstand it or co-opt it. But also some people think that it just handles anti-pedophilia badly, which I guess is fair. Again, I didn't read part 2 because that's when it started to become too much, and I just couldn't stomach it anymore. But I will say that the prose is really interesting, or the writing, I don't know the right word. But it's written in a very interesting style. It all feels very I feel like you really get into the head of Humbert, that's the narrator, which is bad. It's an icky feeling, but it's written really interestingly. It's definitely it just all feels very I guess kind of scatterbrained, but in a good way. It feels intentional, and it has all these weird obscure references and parts in French and stuff. Which is why I had the translator open, so, okay, moving on to before this month. Yikes. So this is a book that I also do not have a physical copy of. I literally have nothing to hold up. Hang on, I need to hold on. Okay, this is my replacement for the book. So I started reading The Plague by Albert Camus, which is another French book, but it was translated into English, so I needed a new translator. And it is a novel about this little town in France, and they get stricken by the plague, and it's about this cast of kooky characters, and how they all their different responses to the plague. And it was really good. The thing with this book is that I started reading it right before my semester started, and then I got to actually pretty close to the end, and then my semester started, and I genuinely had no time to read anything that was not school related. So that book just sat there for months, and it was really embarrassing because I checked it out from the library, and then I had to renew it 3 times, and then I feel so ashamed of this, but I accidentally kept it a couple days overdue, and I gave it back, and I was so sorry. And my library actually abolished overdue fees, which was cool, but I just feel bad. It's what if there's a poor little orphan boy who wanted to read The Plague, and I was gatekeeping it, so. But anyway, after that I was too embarrassed to check it back out, so I just read the last 50 pages online. But it was really good. There's some really interesting, a lot of people don't like Camus, but I don't feel I'm well versed enough in philosophy to understand why people don't like him. So that's just another case of Ollie negative IQ points. But I thought it was interesting. There's some questions posed about there's this one character who wanted to abolish the death penalty because his dad was a lawyer, and he saw this guy on death row, and it traumatized him. And but to do that, to try to abolish the death penalty, which I'm for, by the way, no death penalty is bad. But basically he joined this group that ended up hurting people, to try to abolish the death penalty, and he was I can't do this. But basically his whole question of being was if he's a bad person, if he's a worse person because he can't bring himself to kill anybody. He knows that the death penalty is bad and needs to be abolished, but he couldn't bring himself to actually enact violence on the people, like, enforcing the death penalty. Like, he does it when he talks about his past. I don't think he really has anything, like, against this group. He just said that, like, he couldn't do it. And I think that's interesting. Like, that's actually an interesting philosophical stance. And there's, like, other stuff in there. Like, there's this whole debate that they have about if it's hypocritical for, like, a priest to call in a doctor. So I thought that was interesting, too. I wasn't really, like, raised religious or anything, but I do think that it's an interesting question. And I watched the movie The Exorcist with my dad and my brother, and we talked about it. And my dad was like, I wouldn't trust a doctor who called in a priest. As well as I was like, okay, that's not the question, but okay. But that actually is what they did in The Exorcist, and it worked, so. Okay, and then, let's see, there were other books that I wanted to talk about. This is, like, moving on to being kind of a long time ago, because I'm very ashamed. I didn't read anything for, like, outside of, like, papers and stuff, for basically, like, the whole, like, spring semester, so, oh, well, okay, this is, like, a long time, this is, like, a year ago, or, like, over a year ago, but, I read another Camus book called The Stranger. I think most people have read that one, probably, but that is actually also about the death penalty, and it's just about this guy. He, like, kills a guy for, like, literally no reason, and he ends up, on death row, and it's just about him, I guess, coming to terms with that, and, like, thinking about his life, so, it's a pretty short book. So is The Plague, but I think The Stranger is even shorter. I think it's, like, 200 pages. I don't know. I like short books because my attention span is, like, fried from, like, Instagram reels, like, tung, Sohoro, Labubu shit. So, yeah, that book is good, though. I actually do have a physical copy of it. I got it for Christmas, and that was where I read it, so thanks, Mom. But yeah, I don't know, I like Camus, and I really want to read The Myth of Sisyphus, because I have a friend who was, like, really into Sisyphus for a while, just, like, his whole thing. I don't know if they still are, but I thought it was interesting, and I think that is where the quote that everyone knows, it's like, one must imagine Sisyphus happy. I'm pretty sure it's from that book, so, yeah, anyway. Yeah, I don't know, Camus. Gotta give it to him. Okay, I'm gonna talk about one more book, because I realized I didn't, like, write anything down before, like, recording this video, and it's fucking me over. Okay, so this book, this might be, like, my favorite novel that I've read, just because I think there's, like, too many great novels to actually, like, say that definitively, but just because of, like, talking in terms of, like, personal enjoyment. And also with the disclaimer that I definitely have not read enough. I gotta read more. But, so I do have a physical copy of this, but it's not. Okay, here. So this is not how I originally read the book. I read it, I think, online. Or from the library. I think I found it at my school library while it was really awkward because I went to the library because I was waiting to get picked up, and my art professor was there doing, like, an art show opening that I didn't know was happening, and they had, like, all this shit out to, like, present it. They had, like, a table with, like, grapes and shit. I don't know, it was just awkward. I wasn't expecting to run into her there. And also, I think I was, like, behind on my art homework, so sorry. Anyway, but yeah, my dad found this copy of it in the basement, and he dug it up for me, but it's dusty as fuck. Like, I actually, like, when you open it, it smells like mold, and I feel like I'm gonna get, like, brain poisoning, so I just keep this on my shelf, so people know I know ball. But yeah, everybody knows this book, actually, so it's not cool. But Kafka's The Metamorphosis, I really love this book, actually. I really want my brother to read it, but he's learning German, and he's like, I'm not gonna read it until I can read it in the original German. It's like, you're never gonna fucking read it, bro. I'm not saying that I don't believe in his German reading capabilities, just that he's already such a slacker. I'm just kidding, he's actually very productive. But anyway, That book is really good. So it's about a guy who turns into a cockroach, as everybody knows. Gregor Samsa, that's my goat. Actually, that's my bug. But I think it has like a real. I mean, it's a. I guess it should be called the metamorphosis, because it can be applied to like so many different things. And I read that book when I was like in a pretty bad time, and I was actually like genuinely dying, like literally like dying. So at the time, so that book was pretty. It felt pretty relatable. I was like, yeah, I feel like a bug too. But it made me cry actually, and it's really short, so everyone can read it pretty easy. And honestly, I read this so long ago, I want to reread it, but I don't really remember like too much of the prose or anything, but I just remember the premise and like the event like really sticking with me. There's a part where he starts like crawling around like on the ceiling and like on the wall, and it's like, fuck yes, like, dude, oh my god. And also, okay, my brother's friend showed me this show a while ago called Home Movies on Adult Swim, and it's like this animated like show. It's pretty funny, but there's this one fucking character named like Dwayne or something, but he does like I don't know why that was relevant information. He writes the Franz Kafka rock opera, and it shows them making it. It's a rock opera about the metamorphosis, and it's pretty funny. I don't know. Look it up. Watch it. It's got my 2 thumbs up. Okay. Okay, no. That's my video. It probably sucked, but that's my little book video. #books, #reading. Give it a like if you like books. Give it a dislike if you hate me and want me to die. Okay. And all the books I talked about are pretty short, because again, my attention span. Oh, except House of Leaves. That one's fucking long as shit. Okay. Bye.